Clubhouse, Clubhouse. What's all this buzz about Clubhouse? There's so much hype about it. What is Clubhouse? Is it worth it? I'm gonna tell you what I think about it. Real deal, pros and cons, my first take, my first impressions of being on Clubhouse.
Lila, let's talk.
So my friend texted me and she was like, hey, have you heard of Clubhouse? Do you want to get on it? I'm like, kind of heard about it. Don't really know what it's about. I'm like, sure. She added me about a month ago. I really didn't do anything. I was like, here goes another social media app. Like, I'm barely struggling to use Instagram, Facebook. I'm not even on Twitter yet. And I'm like, okay, here's another social media app. Well, to my surprise, I see why there's so much hype about Clubhouse. It's my first week and I am just really enjoying it. I'm connecting with people. I'm reaching out to people. It is kind of like an interactive podcast. So what I'm not gonna do right now is go through like a Clubhouse tutorial on how to use it. I'm gonna give you more of my experience. Like, what do I think about it? What should you consider when you are on Clubhouse once you get there? So as you may know, Clubhouse is an app strictly for iPhones for now. Sorry, Android. As they're scaling and they're building up their platform and their operability, more people will be able to join. But here you can see this is the app. You go into the app. This is the different rooms and you click on the room and here you'll see the different moderators, right? So the people with the green icons are the moderators, they're the ones kind of leading the room and facilitating the room. And then people below are the audience members. It's invite only. I think when I first signed up, it gave me like one invite. Over time, they're giving people more invites. All right, Biddy, hit it.
Lila, let's talk.
Okay, so my dish, before or right after you download the app, really think through how you want to use the app that's advantageous for you. What is your Clubhouse intentions? What are you hoping to gain from joining Clubhouse, right? And I put that on my profile. Here, I'm here to learn, I'm here to give, and I'm here to connect. That's my kind of like Clubhouse slogan. But you have to determine what role you want to be. If you just want to listen for your first month before stepping on the stage to talk, so be it. I'm a talker. Hello, Lila Talks. So I want to talk, I want to express myself. I have a lot of opinions and so I want to share. But I also want to listen. I also want to learn. And there's a lot of people who are giving back right now. So hopefully that does not fade as more people get on and as people kind of have like Clubhouse fatigue, that people are continuously sharing and hopefully they continue to drop these knowledge nuggets because it is amazing. I'm like, ooh, yum, yum, yum. Yes. Yeah, I'm in a good mood because like I am. If you're not following me on Instagram, follow me here, please subscribe, and then check me out on Clubhouse. It's Lila Talk. Overall, I think it is a fantastic app to network and have really engaging in-depth conversations with like-minded individuals. What kind of minds, you ask? It depends on what you're into. If you're into fitness, if you're into entrepreneurship, if you're into diversity, inclusion, if you're into mindfulness and positivity, right? So these are some of the things that I am a part of. So overall, it's a lot of people who are trying to start their own business. It's a lot of people in the entertainment industry, either trying to push their own music, trying to push something. A lot of like professional people who were there. So it's not like this other, TikTok or Snapchat where you're like doing all these random things. Yeah, you can still be random on Clubhouse, but there's gonna be like, what, 2 people in the room? A lot of the rooms are really intentional, are really purposeful. Definitely a way to market yourself. But it's great for like networking, connecting with others, and like learning from other people who are maybe really big time in that industry. Not necessarily the best as a marketing tool, right? You're not gonna be able to have like a list of different followers and like blast messages, because one of the negatives is it doesn't have like a messaging system, right? So if you want to connect with someone outside of following them and them following you, you actually have to link your Instagram and click the Instagram and send them a direct message. So I don't mind it because I'm like, great, more people could be able to like look at my Instagram and I'll be able to connect with them on a more one-on-one level, and you don't have to manage like another inbox. But a lot of people are saying they don't really care for that because now it's like flooding their Instagram DMs. So just like the real world, there are nice people and helpful people and really genuine people. And then unfortunately, there's the people who are jerks, people who are mean, people who are bullies. Real life exchanges, real life dynamics of people is being translated to Clubhouse. So you're gonna have great people, nice people, arrogant people, people who like hype themselves up but aren't really it. Like there's like these millionaire clubs and I'm like, really? All these people are millionaires? Maybe they are, maybe they're not. So you gotta really be careful who you are following. You gotta be careful that you don't just believe everything that someone puts out there. Conduct your due diligence. But I like to just gauge the room before speaking. I just like to see who are the people I'm following, what is the room about, what is the energy like, and I'm all about positivity. So if it's negative, I don't even go there. I don't care how much money people make, because I think there's this kind of there's some people in Clubhouse that get a little caught up in like followers and like, oh, I want to be associated with like the big shots and, you know, all these millionaires. That's fine. And, you know, if you associate followers with your validation of your worthiness, I feel sorry for you. So hopefully you're not one of those people. And I don't think you are, I really don't think you are. But I personally haven't had any negative experiences because I go to the rooms that I either know someone or I've heard someone talk in another room and I'm like, wow, you know what? That was really profound, or that was really dope, or this is a person actually I want to hear more from. So I'm going to click the follow and see what they're about. And if they keep saying stuff that I like, I'll keep following them. If all of a sudden I find out there's something, I'm not gonna like cancel them automatically, but if there's something that kind of rubs me the wrong way, I was like, yo, I thought they were great, but they're a little bit arrogant. You know, they're not as down to earth as I thought. Out of all the apps out there, it's my just general impression that this really gets you close to either high income earners or really successful people or just someone that you really admire. You're able to kind of connect with them in a really intimate way. It's not like, hey, I'm doing this YouTube, which I'm very, I think, authentic, but I have ways of kind of keep taping, I can edit it, I can kind of shape my content to reflect what I think I want it to reflect, right? But on Clubhouse, it's not like that. It's live. So when people are asked questions or when people are saying something, it's off the top of their head. So I think it generally tends to be something really authentic, or it tends to be something that they really believe in. And so they're showing their true selves. So Clubhouse really is a great tool to see what people are about. I don't think there's any other app. There's someone that you follow on Instagram, you know, you follow their podcast. You can't just, hey, ask them a quick question. You know, you probably have to send them an email. They might get back to you, might not. And I've seen even people get called out on stuff. Like that was pretty, you know, dynamic, where it's, hey, you're supposed to do X, Y, Z, or you rubbed me the wrong way. And it was interesting. It's like, wow, people are really being direct, honest, and people are keeping others accountable. And I think that is amazing. I don't think there's any other time that you'll be able to kind of speak your truth and have others hear you about your positive or negative experiences. And so you have, you know, a Clubhouse, and then within Clubhouse, you have these different rooms. Each room has a specific focus, and you can't record, right? So you can't record anything. And I think that's a good thing. Well, it could be a bad thing, but I think it's a good thing because people feel more free to just say what they think versus like being so careful about what not to say. Look, I've had great experiences. I like to join some of the mindfulness rooms because I was on the app this morning, and like there's a room that talks about mindfulness and positivity, and like every day from like 8 to 10 a.m. they, you know, these people give their time, their space, and they give you advice. And whatever's going on, you can even have meditation rooms where you go in and you meditate in that room. Is that a great way to be connected but also be one with yourself? Okay. Next, rooms dedicated to entrepreneurship, branding yourself, social media. So those are things that I'm interested in, but there's like a slew of goodies of topics. You can just dive in and search. So yes, it's great to connect with people, learn how to grow your business, learn, you know, different trades and techniques. But putting that aside, personally, I love the aspect of being able to express yourself. You know, now that it's COVID and we're not interacting with people, it's kind of filled that void for me. I've met some amazing people and I've met new friends, like virtual friends. And they're really authentic and real conversations and connections because you've talked to them. You know, you can hear the inflections of their voice. You can hear people are being really vulnerable and they share, and that there's a lot there. And I think that's so beautiful. And it's just a safe space for you to express yourself. Express yourself about anything. It could be expressing yourself about how your day was. It could be a bad or positive experience you had at your job. It could be questions about lighting and like what's the best way to take pictures for dating. They have like speed dating rounds and they have different events on Single Ready to Mingle. And so it's just a lot of fun. You can just hop to different places. Like you listen to one thing, you listen to another, you're talking here, you're talking there, and whatever you do, don't get addicted. It's so addictive. It's so hard to like leave. You're gonna feel like you're missing out. Well, you get a lot of that with Clubhouse because there's so many rich and awesome conversations. And next thing you know, it's like hours and hours and hours and hours. And you're like, oh my God, it's been like 5 hours. I haven't had anything to eat or drink. Like, this is not good. And again, it's just like anything new. You're like, oh, your first date, oh, butterflies. But, you know, hopefully once you get acclimated, hopefully after I get acclimated, that will calm down and then you'll just be kind of like a normal user, if that is such a thing. I don't think I'm the only one who experienced that. I think Clubhouse has that effect on you. And I talked about, you know, the negative aspects of people being mean, people being bullies. But guess what? Clubhouse is like a self-regulating environment, right? I think you can report certain things that are like outrageous, but for the most part, it's up to the Clubhouse members to put pressure on others to behave accordingly. So if you see someone bullying or see a man over talking a woman, guess what? Whether you're a man or woman, I don't care what you are, be like, excuse me, we're gonna let her finish first. We'll get to you in a minute, right? Of course, there's ways you can politely say that, but be a change agent. You know, don't just, you know, stand idly by if you happen to be a moderator or a speaker. Now, you're just an audience member, you can just be, you know, observant, and you have the choice to not follow that person if someone's negative. But I really, really think there's like a kind of like a newish movement that we, as a member of Clubhouse, want to make people accountable for their actions. And by doing so, whether it's to call them out, so be it. But we really want to create a positive space. I think a large majority of people want to create a space of learning and growing. And so we can't allow toxic individuals, you know, putting their little poison pills everywhere. No, when we see inappropriate behavior, nip it in the bud. We just, you know, spread the sunshine, spread the light. You just want to, you know, pick up for the people who are being picked on. And yeah, it's great to have followers to broaden your exposure and broaden people's awareness about who you are, especially if you're trying to sell a product or service. But again, I don't think it's like a marketing tool necessarily to communicate whatever you're doing. It's more of like networking with others in your field, networking with people who are either further along in their journey of where you want to go, or people who are maybe a little bit behind you and you can help them and propel them forward so that they can be successful in their own way, right? So that's, at least for now in this moment, seems to be highly focused on entrepreneurship, improving, you know, where you are in life. And I think it's so cool. I love it. I love it so far. Here's some suggestions I think you should consider, right? Number one is be careful who you send the invitation to, because that's a reflection of you, right? So if they're new and they're acting a fool, they're a reflection of you because you can see who nominated that person on their profile. Be careful who you send the invite to. Be careful who you follow. I mean, you follow someone and then you can unfollow them, so that's not, I think, a big deal. I would just encourage you to put yourself out there. If you get an invitation, I think you should join if you're interested in learning, growing, and giving back to certain communities. And I think join now while it's early, while it's still relatively small. I think like 2 million. Because I think as it expands and grows, it's gonna be a bigger pool, bigger pond that you have to kind of go through. And there seems to be people who have like their own set of tribes, and just like it can be a little cliquey. You're like, oh, okay, like just like high school, college, work. That's just human beings. We like to gather and we create our own little, you know, groups. Birds of feather flock together. One thing I'll say is you can be a little addictive. You sign up and when you actually start getting active, you're just like, oh my goodness, this is like amazing. It can really like take over because you're in like this bubble, like this world. And I think it's so cool. You know, check it out. If you're on Clubhouse, please add to the conversation and put your comments below. If you're not on Clubhouse and you have any questions, try my best to answer your questions because again, I am new. I haven't moderated a room or anything like that. If you don't know what that means, feel free to check out these other videos that I think do a really good job at explaining the basics. And if you haven't already, please, please, please hit the subscribe button, the like button, and all these different buttons down here. Okay, all right, well, that's all I gotta say on that. And that's my take on Clubhouse. So hope it was helpful. See you there.